Oh, great. I'm on. There is about a 30-second delay. So it's gonna take me a second to kind of orient to what I'm doing here. I've never live streamed with this format. Oh, great. Oh, I gotta turn the volume off over there. Okay. All right. That's gonna help me a lot. So hello, I think I'm going to pop over here. Okay, I think I have all the things set up. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited. I'm live streaming today through my Zoom onto YouTube so that I can later share this over on some of my other platforms and on my website and that sort of thing. I am so excited that fall is coming. I know a lot of people really look forward to summer, but for me, I love spring and I love fall. And I saw something the other day that I thought was just kind of resonated with me, and that was that fall is the new year's, and in a lot of ways we do kind of start over. September feels like a fresh beginning. School's starting up and kids are going back to school, and we change our wardrobes and things like that, and it's a really great time for organizing and planning and making a fresh start so we can wrap out the last few months of the year and feel successful about what we're doing. And for some of us, that's in business. For some of us, that's in our lifestyles and our fitness and our exercise. Some of it's just in home organization. And for some of us, it is in planning our holiday and our cold weather knitting and crochet. Is this you? Is this you? Where you're thinking, this is the year that I am going to make, I'm going to knit or crochet, perhaps weave. I am going to make Christmas presents this year because I want to infuse my love, and this year I'm going to do it. But then we end up waiting, and then it's November. Now I've got less than 2 months, and I'm stressed, and I'm feeling anxious, and then it becomes a stress, and we're staying up too late, and we're making mistakes because we're anxious. I want to help stop that. I want to help pull that back for you, and I want you to feel in control. I want you to feel excited, and I want you to feel like a hero when you gift give, because you thought about this person that you're going to give this gift to. And I've done this over the years, and I have approached it in a couple of different ways. One way is that I'll pick a project and do the same project, and I start at the beginning of September, and I make the same project over and over and over and over and over again using different yarn until I have 1 million. One year it was scarves, a very particular scarf pattern. I must have made at least 24 of these scarves, but every single one was different because I used different yarns for it. And then I took them in a big, pretty basket at every holiday event that I went to starting in mid-November. Every time I went to a holiday event, I took this basket of scarves with me, and I invited the ladies, well, it was scarves, so there were some guy scarves in there too, but I invited everybody that wanted a scarf, go look in the basket at the scarves. And at the end of the season, I had a few left over, and the opportunity for a local women's shelter program came up, and I donated the rest of the scarves to the women's shelter, and it just felt so good. Last year, for 2019 and into 2020, I made hats. I made grandkid hats, and they were all different hats, but that was my theme for repetitive stitching. Some of them were knit, some of them were crochet.
Some of them were just plain and simple. Some of them were characters, like a little frog I made for one of my grandkids, and a Spider-Man I made for another one, and a monkey I made for another one. And some of them were just plain Jane, just a plain black beanie or a plain blue beanie, because that's what the grandkids wanted, right? And other years I've done kitchen things where I've just made a million pot holders. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today. So let's talk about 6 project ideas that you can do all into the fall. You can burn up your stash. You can dig through your stash and piles of yarn together, and let's get making things. Let's create things. And the beautiful thing to using the same pattern, simple pattern over and over and over again, there's several benefits to this. One is that you can learn to get creative with the pattern. You can see where you can adjust it and customize it and personalize it, maybe adding some texture stitches or something like that. You can also get creative in the way that you're using your yarns. And, something like a scarf gauge isn't quite as crucial as it would be for a hat, let's say. And so there's lots of ways that you can play with things. So let's take a look at 6 projects that I have to inspire you today. The first one I'm going to show you is this beanie. This is called Oda. It is a crocheted with a cable. It's a beanie. This is made as a slouchy beanie. You can make it a little bit longer and make it really slouchy. You can make it shorter, make it fit a little bit more like a beanie. And this is a great pattern. This is going to teach you a few skills. You're working in the round from the top down, and you're making crocheted cables. It's super fun. This one takes about 200 yards of a DK light fingering DK weight yarn. The pattern is available on my website. It's called Oda, O-D-A. And this example, I used a yarn called Llama Una that I carry in the shop, which you can also find on the website. So a soft beanie is super nice. This is actually one of my favorite beanies. I wear it all the time. I love it, love it, love it. It's one of my favorites. I'm actually going to make myself another one, but I haven't figured out what color I want to make. So I might make a few of them and give away the other ones. Except I do keep coming back to this cream colored one for some reason. I love that. So that's one thing to try. Okay. That's not my hair. Let's see here. This is another fun one. This is another free pattern. It's not on the website as of this recording, but it is one that I need to make some updates to and add. It is available if you go to Ravelry and go look for True Susie Q, or go look for Perfectly Naughty in our pattern store. You should be able to find this. This hat and mitt set is a free pattern. It uses 1 skein of Pakapura, which is this yarn right here. And that's a fun pattern to do. This one, you make the fingerless mitts first, and they can be adjusted to fit. So for a smaller hand, you can make them not as big around. They're kind of, one of the things I like about these fingerless mitts is they're taller on the back of the hand and shorter on the palm of the hand. They have a nice ribbing texture around the wrist to help keep it pulled in. They're super soft because they're alpaca, and we love that. So you make those, and then after you've made your mitts, you make this cute hat. And this cute hat is worked from the bottom up. You start right here with a band of ribbing worked this way, and then pick up the stitches and go this way. And this is one, you work it until you run out of yarn. So there's no yarn left over. You get the whole thing out of 1 skein of yarn. It's fabulous. Great project. It's a little bit, maybe a little bit more challenging. Maybe some people might think to do the mitts if you want to be able to size them, but maybe not. I guess it depends on how you approach that mentally. I like to do a lot of projects that are stitch to fit. That's kind of my jam. Another, and that, so those are 2 crochet. Let's, most of these in my lap today are crochet. You know, crochet is my bigger jam. I love knitting, but I love crochet more. And I love it, making things in crochet that are unexpected and are fun and elegant and things that are going to stand the test of time. But here's a fun knit project. This is the Audrey hooded scarf. I'm going to try this on and show you how this looks. This is another one of those patterns that is simple, but does have some learning challenges to it. You start knitting this hood up here at the top, right across the very tippy top, with the double needle cast on, similar to the way that you would knit a toe-up sock. And then you work in horseshoe rows, horseshoe all the way down, and then you use a special bind off technique to actually make the scarf. You can make the scarf part really long so it really wraps around, or in this case, it's shorter and it's got a couple of buttons that make it fun and fashionable. It's cozy, it's fun, kids love them, adults love them, and this one's fun. This one was originally designed in Creative, which is a alpaca blend, which makes it really nice for your transitional seasons like spring and summer, or spring and fall, when the weather can be cool but not blisteringly cold and you just want a little bit but you don't need a lot. This version right here is made with a DK acrylic from the Hayfield Baby line, but unfortunately a lot of that has been discontinued. They really limited the colors, so I don't carry that yarn anymore, except a few skeins left in the clearance department. So you can go to perfectlynaughty.com/shop to see what's there. But also the Uptown DK would be great for this. And then anything woolly and fuzzy in a DK that you like to use. This would be lovely done in Puno or Lemoore up here, or Llama. Where's Llama Una? Oh, it's down behind me, behind my chair. So that would make it really warm and cozy. The fun thing about this, if you are a creative stitcher type, is that you could consider maybe not doing a garter stitch scarf and figure out a different stitch pattern for down here. That would be fun. And maybe do seat stitch or insert a cable or a motif. Lots of fun creative ideas there. Once you get it started, that one just goes. It's a great knitting project. It's a little tricky. The first 5 or so rows are a little challenging to get set up, but like a lot of things, once you get past the setup rows, you're good to go, right? Here's another project that has been super popular over the years. This one needs to go this way. Here we go. This is a simple triangle scarf. This one is crochet. This one has beads. I have done this pattern in so many different ways. This is one skein of Uluru. Unfortunately, Uluru no longer makes these really mottled, beautiful colors. They have a self-striping, which is fine, but I'm not really into self-striping colors myself. Tell me in the comments if you are into self-striping. I love these mottled colors though, and I'm really sad that they are not going to be available. But I do have a few skeins left on the website. Look in the clearance section for that. Beads can be added, but other ways that I've done this is adding, using scrap yarn and changing every row with a different color. There's one row is done in single crochet, the other row is done in double. One of the ways I've done it that's been super fun is make the single crochet row the same yarn and change every time with the double crochet row or the opposite. I've added beads in different ways. Super fun, super creative can be super fast. Once you understand, again, once you get the setup rows done, it goes really quickly. I like projects like that when I'm going to be doing the same project over and over to help me keep my mindset. It allows me to work quickly. It allows me to work on the project while I'm watching the football game, while I'm riding in the car, things of that nature. This year, I'm kind of back to my kitchen supplies again. And I've been making a bunch of the magic square pot holders. Have you ever made magic square pot holders? They can be done in knit or crochet. I do have a tutorial here on the YouTube channel for the crochet version. So I would challenge you to go and find that and take a look at that. I was thinking this do a knit one for you guys. That would be good as well. I love magic square because they're really great for using up scraps of cotton yarn. You can use wool as well, but you have to think about how the fiber handles heat transfer. So wool is good, cotton is good. Anything that's got a viscose in it, viscose actually will transfer the heat versus blocking it and holding it the way cotton and wool will. Alpacas and llamas, I'm not sure. I haven't really played with that too much, but I love this. And here's something I've started doing in the last year or so with my magic squares. I don't know if you can see this. I'll put it up here, but I have a strand of crochet thread double stranded with the cotton yarn. The crochet thread runs throughout the pot holder. It gives it this added little white heather, no, tweedy look, more of a tweedy look, which I like. And when you tie the knots together, when you change yarns, you just tie a knot and the knots get tucked to the inside. You can add a little bit of padding. When we were talking about wool, maybe you have a little bit of wool, like an old wool blanket, and you can cut a piece of wool. And before you stitch the seam shut, cut a square, tuck it in, maybe anchor it with a couple of stitches so it doesn't wad up over time. These are amazing. I make them for my brother almost every year. They're his favorite pot holders. And my other favorite kitchen thing that I'm making quite a bit of this year is washcloths. I do my washcloths a little differently. I think a lot of people really love crocheted washcloths or knit. I don't like them made out of your traditional kitchen cotton, like peaches and cream or sugar and cream. I find those yarns to be very linty. And I think especially with crochet, it makes a very thick fabric and then it does not dry quickly. And then it gets that funky smell if you don't use it and wash it immediately. So this is what I started doing a few years ago. And I really like this. This works great for your kitchen washcloth, works great for your body. And you can make them in all kinds of sizes. But this is 2 strands of crochet thread held together. You can see here, 2 strands. 2 strands of crochet thread held together. And then the stitch is super simple. It gives it a nice texture. It's not open and gappy. The 2 strands of crochet thread held together, I crochet with an H hook, which I think is a 5mm. Let's look. I always forget what the millimeters are. Anybody else forget? All right. 4 point. Nope, I'm wrong. I don't know. This is an old one. This is back. This hook is back from when it cost 45 cents. That's how old this hook is. So I don't know. But anyway. And then my pattern is single crochet, double crochet, all the way across the row. And then when you end with a double crochet. And then when you flip it, you single crochet, double crochet. So you're single crocheting on top of the double crochet and double crocheting on top of the single crochet. And what happens when you do that is it makes a nice texture. And it gives it a little bit of a nubbly texture, which I really like. Crochet thread is mercerized, so it doesn't lint. It's going to be color fast. So if you use a colored thread like I did here, it's not going to bleed all over the place unless you bleach it. And then of course it will. And it's
dries quickly because the two strands together give you more surface area, and that will dry quickly. And I like that a lot. So there you go. Those are 6 projects that I like for quick holiday projects. And some of the yarns that we're using them for that you can find, or using for them that you can find in the shop. But what I want you to do is I want you to look at your stash yarn and think of a theme, okay? Are you going to do hats this year? Are you going to do scarves this year? Are you going to do kitchen items this year? Gather all of the yarn together. Put it in a basket or a tote bag. Maybe you got a here, I'll show you this one. Maybe you got this year's, maybe you got the Yarn Shop Tour tote bag. This one is from 2020. The burgundy ones, I actually have a few of them left. They're on clearance on the website, or you can get them for free with a $75 order. The instructions are on the item in the $70. Yeah, if you order $70 of any merchandise, including clearance items, you can get the free tote bag. They're really cute. But put all of your intended yarn in a bag, in a basket. Put it someplace fun, so it's not in a box, it's not hiding, it's not out of sight, out of mind. Gather up all of those supplies and then just start making your thing. So tell me, I want you to tell me down in the comments. Come over to the Facebook page and tell me, what are you making? What is going to be your project theme for the fall and winter? It's nice this time of year. Here it is. It's the middle of August. It's really nice to get all that planning done now and start thinking about it and preparing for it. If you're making things like hats and scarves and mitts, it's a great time to be making them right now. They're small. They don't cover you in large pieces. So even if you are working with warm fibers, you don't have to worry about cooking yourself when the temperatures are warm. And it will allow you to have those things ready to go. So when the weather changes and now it's cold, you aren't starting to make a hat that you needed yesterday. You've already made it. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. If you have questions, you have comments, let me know down below. What do we want to talk about? Next week, we'll pop back on again and we'll talk about some of the different yarns available that I think are really great for your fall and winter projects. So thank you very much. Head on over to the Facebook page, head over to the VIP group. So if you go on to facebook.com/Perfectly Naughty VIP group, I think that's the URL. Click the link to join, answer the 3 questions and join the community. You get a lot more interactive help from me. I don't pop on YouTube and check the questions and comments very often. So if you really want to engage and get more information, get more support and more help, head over to the Perfectly Naughty VIP group on Facebook. Join the group. They're a wonderful, helpful group of people that love creating and love supporting each other, making their projects with their Perfectly Naughty yarn. All right, everybody, have an awesome day.